Okay, I'm going to give you some tips on one way you might want to do the reindeer's antlers. So I'm going to start a new part file, and I'm going to start a new 2D sketch, and I'll just pick my XY plane, and I could do it with either the line tool. I'm going to show you how to do it with the spline tool first though. So I'm just going to pick a point. I'll just start my origin. I'll click, and I'll say my branch looks something like that. And I guess if I want to check and see how long that is, I can take the measure and go from here to here. That's 25 inches, so you'll have to decide how big the antler should be. But I'll finish my sketch, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very, very tip of the spline or the line. Now, just notice when I take my mouse and I place it there, I get like a little red dot. So I'm going to right click and say work plane, and sometimes you might have to click one more time on that dot to get a work plane to show up. And then I'm going to start a sketch on that new work plane. So now if you see, if I turn it sideways, I'm sketching like right here at the end of the dot. And put a circle, and you have to figure out what's the diameter of that branch. So let's say I have a diameter of 2.5 inches or however big the branch should be. I'll finish my sketch, and now what I can do is I can use the sweep tool to sweep that circle along that spline. So now I've got this kind of curved branch going on here, and I'm going to go to my view tool, and I'm just going to change that to realistic. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my origins folder, find my XY plane, and make it visible. I'm going to turn off the plane that we made just a moment ago. Now we're going to start a new sketch. So I'm going to start a sketch on the XY plane. Now on my keyboard, I'm going to use the function 7 key, the one up on top that says F7. And what that does, it just slices it along that plane. So you can kind of see there that it's been sliced. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spline tool again. I'm going to be inside of the branch and kind of create another kind of curvy branch coming off there. Oops. Okay. Finish my sketch. I can hide my XY plane for a moment if I want to. Go to the end. I'm going to right click, say work plane right there, and click right there. Puts a work plane at the end. And then I'm going to start a new sketch on that work plane. I'm going to draw the next branch, a piece of branch. I'll make this one 2 inches. The other one's 2.5. And then I'm going to not extrude, I'm going to sweep along. That's going to take me back. Now it looks like I was a little bit long with my line. You can kind of see it poking out the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the sketch, take the end, just kind of move it back a little bit, finish my sketch, and there, that's fixed now. So now I have these antlers that I can use that are kind of based upon this branch. Again, if I want to hide that work plane. So you might want to come up with a careful sketch before you do it, so you get the right proportions, the right size, the right length. If I wanted to, I could even add another branch now. I just go back to my XY plane, make that visible. Again, I'm kind of want to slice it open, so I'm going to use the F7 key to slice it. I guess I need to start a sketch first. Let me start a sketch on the XY plane. F7 will slice it. If I hit F7 again, it comes back. So now I'm going to start my spline tool one more time. Start inside here. Okay, just do a little branch right there. Go to the end. Work plane right there. Start a sketch on that work plane. Hit F7 to slice things. Where am I? I'm sketching right there at the end right there. So I'm going to take a circle, make this one 1.5, finish the sketch, sweep, and let's go back to the home view. And there we go. So I've got some antlers going on now. You just want to make sure that they're the right size based upon your sketch, but it might take a little practice, but I think you'll get something that looks pretty good. Now, if I want to go up, I can now change the appearance of it to, I have some different types of wood in here. And there's my wooden antlers. And if the ends look too sharp, you can add a little bit of a fillet, but I think you're going to want them to be kind of sharp because since you cut them, since there's like a branch that's been cut, you don't want to add that little smooth edge. So I'm actually going to delete that. I don't like that. I want it to look like it's just kind of cut, very kind of rough there. And if you don't want the ends to be the same color as the outside, you can always go to a different color for that part. I'm going to go into my maybe I go beige or some kind of a, oof, no, I'll do that. Maybe it's going to go with, I did the whole thing. I just want to highlight the area first. There you go. I don't know if that's going to look right, but yeah, I think so. I'll select this one as well. Hold down my shift key, select both of those. I think it was wheat. Where did it go? Wheat. There you go. Made that kind of look more like the inside of the wood. So there's some ideas for the antlers. You might want to give that a shot.